Today is another day where we are not working on my second gen F-body, my 1979 Firebird. Today, a little bit different. Now that the weather is here, good weather at least. Weather is kind of always here. Anyway, it's warm out. Got the old 04 KTM 200 EXC, the big old two-stroke Enduro bike. Now, I was actually just about to start doing some adjustments for it, getting this thing ready for race season. My first race is April 25th. I race Enduro, in case you guys don't know. Gonna be doing some hare scrambles this year, and this bike is far from ready, and I am personally far from ready. I haven't raced in 3 going on 4 years now, so this will be a big change, hopping on a bike that's meant for Enduro. My YZ85 was certainly not meant for Enduro, and just racing again. It's been so long since I've had the drive to ride crazy fast, but this year I really want to, and I'm really excited to. And this bike needs a little bit of dialing. It needs a carb rebuild just because I don't trust the jetting that's in it now. I want to go back to stock. I need bark busters, a brake lever, a clutch perch piece, grips, radiator support, pipe guard. I need to adjust the chain slack, do 2 new tires and tubes. I want to do a seat cover at some point, but this one's actually pretty grippy. It just looks bad. What I've done so far was the clutch slave gasket. I did the sprocket seal. I did a full FMF exhaust system with the gnarly up there. The gnarly is the best for torque. I need grips. I need to adjust the shifter, the brake levers. Everything needs to be dialed in for this bike because, like I said, it is far from ready and it's not even close to how I want it to be. That being said, in this video, I'm going to be adjusting the chain slack. Going to be adjusting just about everything, bending the shift lever because that's like less than ideal. It's inward and it's wicked far forward. Got to mess with that. Got to mess with the brake lever on the other side. But I went to start it. Not only does this bike have starting issues, which is part of the reason I'm doing a carb rebuild, it's got no gas in it. So I got to head out. Have to go grab some 2-stroke oil and grab some gas, some 93. Want to tune it for 112, but can't really do that right now because I'm not sure how to tune a bike for 112. I would assume it's a smaller jet because it's a higher octane, but I have no idea. But for now, 93 octane should work. Gotta grab some of that, some premix, mix it up, and then see if we can get some laps on it, start dialing it in. I'll try to get the helmet camera set up and just start getting used to the bike. As I do in any video where I go and shop there, shout out to Metzger Motorworks, always having the sick deals. Hooks me up with a nice racing competition spark plug as well. Not sure if it's iridium or not. Not sure if it's an iridium plug, but I heard an issue with the non-starting of these bikes could be related to spark. It feels like it has no spark, and then all of a sudden it'll just start while I'm kicking it. So we're going to change out the plug. If that doesn't fix it, we're going to look into the actual plug boot and wire. So I've read online that someone had an issue with the wire itself. Could be that, so I'm going to check into that. Going to check into the plug, throw some gas, mix this nice new 2-stroke up. I may actually already have a bottle of this. I'm not even sure if I needed this, but I have it. So let me go see if I have another bottle real quick, because I think I do. So I got my little premix cup right here. Now I was just doing some research on what this bike in particular wants to run for a premix. Now my old YZ85, I'd usually run it at either 32-to-1 or 40-to-1. Usually 40-to-1, so it would smoke a bit less, it wouldn't bog as much. But apparently this bike wants 60-to-1 or 50 to anywhere from 40 to 60-to-1 depending on how it's jetted. Now I did some research on this particular oil. This stuff can supposedly run as little as 100-to-1. That's 100 parts gas to 1 part oil. I don't trust that even remotely, so I'm probably gonna stick with 40-to-1. If it still smokes too much, maybe bogs out a little, switch it up to 50-to-1, but we're gonna run 40-to-1 for now. That's usually what I would run during races on my old YZ85. I think the factory recommends 50-to-1. I would rather be over oiled than under oiled. Again, it might make less power with more oil. What we do with the cup, we go over here where it says gallons right up top. Kind of hard to see. And then I find my 2-gallon mark and I find 40-to-1, and I'm gonna fill up right to there with oil. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the 1 gallon, which is a total of 3 gallons, up to 40-to-1 right there. And then we'll dump the oil in there, mix it up a lot, and then put it in there. Shouldn't have to tell you guys this, but make sure your cup is on a relatively level surface. Gonna grab this one. It's already been used, but only a little bit. And let's get some oil mixed up. I would say that's about 40-to-1, so now we're gonna dump this into the gas can. Ooh, a little fast there. One thing to know, obviously there's gonna be some oil left over in the container, so I always measure a little bit over because like that's a decent amount in the bottom, and you obviously don't want your ratio to be off. So I always measure just a little bit over So that little bit that gets stuck in the cup is compensated for. So if it's 40 to 1, put it like a quarter of a line over what you should, and that should roughly accommodate for any leftover oil in the cup. Now's the fun part. We mixed the gas. We have yet to haul the ass. Just took off the NGK spark plug boot. Gonna pop off that plug, make sure my new one is gapped. I'm not gonna be able to get a socket on there, so I'm just gonna use a wrench. A little bit sketchy, but what's life if it ain't sketchy? Pop a new plug in and see how that plug looks also, so I can try to tell how the bike was running. But not much area to work with here. Loosened it right up. Go ahead, unthread this bad Larry. Light year worth of threads on this thing. All right, yeah, that's one gassed up plug. And it has a different plug in it too. A B8ES. We're about to throw in a BR8EG. They look similar. I'm gonna do some research real quick because this might be the iridium version of the BR8EG, or maybe this is the iridium version. I don't know, but that's not the same plug. And I trust Metzger to grab me the right plug. So do some research and let's see. So this thing started up on its second kick. Now it's never done that before. The only reason I'm not too stoked about that is because I did kick it a bunch of times this morning. Not sure if that had any bias as far as how this actually runs, because obviously if I kicked it a bunch, let it sit and then kicked it again, it's not gonna start the same as if I just rode it and then let it sit overnight. So we'll know tomorrow when I go to start it in the morning. That'll be the true test. Right now what we're doing, just loosened this little pinch bolt. Gonna go ahead and drop the bike a bit more because it sits really high and I am not really tall whatsoever. So I'm gonna drop the bike, adjust the chain slack, adjust my shift lever, brake lever, and then hopefully take it for a rip. So for those of you that remember, I had this custom valve cover plate on my 05 Accord Coupe. Or not valve cover plate, the spark plug cover thing. It works like a really good stencil, so I spray painted my logo on my bike stand. Chain slack's adjusted, the ride height is as good as it's gonna get without lowering links. Adjusted the kickstart a little bit, bent out that brake, and got the shift lever pretty decent. It's a lot better than it was. It's a little inward, but that's actually kind of nice. I need to get new boots. Oh my god, I almost just fell. I need to get new boots. I've had these things for way too long. Also, yeah, shorts and boots. Had these for way too long. They have like no ankle movement, so gotta get some new gear before the race season, but I should be able to at least ride. This is still an issue. Waiting on this little piece. I still have to order it, but I'm gonna wait until I order like a bunch of stuff at once. Might just do that tonight. Gotta throw some coolant in it and then slap on the helmet cam and get some rips out of her. So I had taken the bike for a rip, and I'll actually get some helmet cam footage in just a second. But every time I'd pull the clutch in and put it in gear, it would stall. Pop this little reservoir cover off and it was pretty much bone dry. Obviously not ideal, so I went back to Metzger Moto Works, picked up some Motorex hydraulic fluid, some clutch oil. Anything with the Magura clutch takes mineral oil, and lever feels good. Had a bunch of air come out of the system, so hopefully the clutch works a little better. I guess I'm gonna test that out right now. And I also realized that this piece broke off, and now every time the bike leans at a certain angle, it dumps gas all down the side of it. Hopefully the clutch works a bit better. Let's go ahead, let's test it out, and let's see how it does. So I just did like, I don't know, 2 or 3 laps through the woods, did a little wheelie practice, a little stoppy practice. Just some slow speed stuff, seeing how the clutch handles, seeing how the bike handles. And I'm not gonna say like I'm getting used to it, but I'm starting to understand the bike a bit more. Obviously I still only have like 1 hour of ride time on this whole bike. However, you may notice that it's covered in gas. The gas cap is still violently leaking, and anytime the bike really moves at all, it'll like spit gas all over me. Not exactly ideal, so I'm gonna see what I can do to fix this. Again, I'm pretty sure the gas is coming out of there. I don't think it's coming out of the cap itself. I'm gonna see what I can do to fix that, because that is no bueno. So I just finished up riding. One big realization is I am mighty out of shape, and I definitely need to fix that before race season comes. It was only riding for maybe 20 or 30 minutes. Got some arm pump, which is actually devastating because I'm not one of them pansy motocross racers who races for 10 minutes and then's done. These like hour-long races, 5 miles each lap. No hate on the motocross boys, but you know what I mean. So yeah, a few things found out with the bike. Idle needs to be raised for sure. I'm thinking that I know this is a kind of a stretch, may have been the clutch sound where it was actually just idling so low that was kind of just the bike chugging. Not sure, could just be totally unrelated, but it definitely needs the idle raised regardless. Got the clutch bled, and most importantly got a little seat time, got a little more comfortable on it, and I figured out a few of the things the bike needs. Got to put my skid plate back on, raise the idle, bark busters, the clutch piece, a brake lever, the radiator supports. I want to get a white rear fender and number plates just because all orange is gross. So that's about where we're at. Probably going to throw new tires on it before race season. Might even throw a ring in it depending how much seat time I get, just to make sure compression is at its peak. Definitely want it to be set up for race season. Got a new plug in it, which may have helped. I won't know until tomorrow morning for sure, but I guess we'll see. If you guys don't already, follow me on Snapchat and Instagram. I update everybody pretty frequently on Snapchat as far as what I'm working on, and you guys can actually stay in the loop. You guys can ask me questions personally there. So on screen right now, hit up my Snapchat, scan the tap code, or just add me by name. If you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see me race that KTM and hit numerous trees, because it's gonna happen. I am the tree magnet when it comes to racing dirt bikes. If you want to see that, be sure to subscribe with that notification bell on. My first race is April 25th. That means the video goes live April 26th. So be sure to stay tuned for that. If you guys want to stay up to date on the Firebird, the Wrangler, or the Prelude, you guys know what to do. It all gets uploaded on this channel. If you guys want to see any other type of video, be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you guys want me to make, because if you guys ask for it, I'll probably make it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Told my brothers one day we gon' make it. We just gotta grind for that paycheck. Mama told me one day I'll be famous. Remember when she used to say she hate this? That ended with life when I say shit. Now I'm inside all them people's playlists. So one day I'll be stomping.